Argweirdos have their own code of silence deep in their DNA. It's an ode to science, the ancestors of ghosts and giants from a faraway land, and they own the island. Genius when they're left to all their own devices, but they can't say no devices. Obsessions and addiction, what else would you expect from our condition? No affection for the victim. My father was a workaholic, and on a search for knowledge, he left the Civil War and landed in America. But before that, he was touring in your area. Back in the 70s, he pressed his own vinyl, and that impression was the most impressive and vital. But it was hard to live in his wisdom, cause he fit the description of a kid that's a victim. A grown man with a tortured soul got his fortune told when he got his car jacked by guerrillas culture war. When he broke the language barrier in immigration law, he had the greatest job from El Salvador to San Francisco. He ran the disco, a lead vocalist and guitar player. But as grown men, it's not in our nature to choose art over labor or start over later. So we moved the whole family to the 209, whitewash suit and tie. It's quite overwhelming, but I think it makes for really good storytelling. Marijuana in a fanny pack, happy sad is how my daddy act. My dad said the craziest jokes, creative and dope. So just to get my dad's attention, I had to come up with a grand invention, like pin the tail on the donkey or put a nail in the coffin. He was never satisfied, so I failed at it often. Never paid attention to the detail of polish. A snail when I'm walking, a really quiet kid. People never got my attention like books and science did. So instead of having to face all the people, I came up with imaginary friends and alter egos. I lived in a cartoon world, NIKFUQ girl. Even way back then, I was hella awkward. Even with the teleprompter, I couldn't tell a proper idea without meeting the criteria. I cried teary-eyed in the cafeteria, from docile to hostile. I went to the cosmos and found this bravado, coming with my dope style, right at your domicile. NIKFUQ hold it down, and I became an underground rapper. My perception of music is spun around backwards, and so is my sense of humor. So I expect the rumors. I had sex with the future. The Argweirdos, I'm the weirdest of the weirdos. The Argweirdos, and we aren't heroes. She was a quiet girl from a third and violent world. She saw the US on a black and white TV, took a crack at life and made it look easy. She came across the border against the law and order, the whole time praying to God, cause she didn't feel right disobeying the law. But she's no regular mom, she likes to dance too and remember the song. She could use one hand just to raise the roof and use the other hand to distract those saber-tooth. I think she had superpowers, I think she even controls the lunar shower. I mean, she always had dinner ready. She'd always be down to chill and play Pictionary. We'd always be number one on her itinerary. She would make me watch scary movies, and for a young kid, it was all very moving. Cause sometimes she would clam up and not show emotion, and those little moments made my components. And that's why zombies are a big influence, and I'm a bit into it, cause I attach it to a time of a kid's innocence. She's a small town girl, but Anna Dorian took us all around the world. She's like the character from Ghost World. Moved to San Francisco right after graduation. You go, girl. She's quiet but outgoing, a wild card, doing grown woman shit with a child's heart. Negativity seems to play a mild part in her daily life, but don't get me wrong, cause she does have her crazy nights. A true Gemini will never die. She's a vegan and a fashionista, never left the room but she became Sacagawea, an American diva with third world traditions. Nowadays she's a very down to earth girl, so don't miss it. Nowadays she's a very down to earth, the youngest Marcella. Used to wear the same outfits they had in Barbarella. Super flashy, but she spoke like a tomboy, human nasty, and her friends were too sensitive and too demanding. They were eager to get pregnant and produce a family, but my sister stayed in her room laughing, practicing for her future. The stepping stones for the world of humor came when she realized that some people believe some things are unreal, and if you talk too loud, there might be an upheaval. Her perception is very blunt, the side of fairy dust. A loud Amazon, a chatterbox, standing above the clouds that her hometown is casted on. She goes against the grain, never plays the guessing game, and never tastes the wedding cake. An independent free bird, California dreamer with no apologies and a very long shit list. Dropping cherry bombs on the big kids, then walk away fairly calm and carry on with her business. What? Walk away and carry on with her business. What? And thanks to my big brother, because of him I discovered how to put a rhyme together and diss others. He's the reason I spit that pimp butter. He used to be so so adventurous. You couldn't hang with him unless you had a membership, a class all his own. Hanging from a 30-foot tree by his toe, he was my hero. But then people called him a weirdo, cause he was kicking it with zeros. I don't think he had a venue to express himself, so the things he got into were just a cry for help. I think it almost killed you. But then you found love and cleaned out all the mildew, got out the danger zone happily and made your own family. But still you had your vices, and they took control of your likeness. Like AZ said, life's a bitch. I think you struggle with your character. I think you're not happy with your past chapters. I think you didn't like that you were thrown into the massacre, and afterwards expected to make a fast return, but instead you slam dunk on these damn punks. But that was easy. Now it's time for you to man up and guard your own future. I know it's hard, but someone's gotta take charge. Value what you think. Life is a battle for the weak. We weren't given proper tools or shown how to follow modern rules. Just a bunch of nasty immigrants who took away the valley's innocence. The Argweirdos, and we aren't heroes. We're basically art people. Your traditions and customs make us feel suspicious and upfront. Why the fuck you making us feel insufficient, you dumb cunt? The Argweirdos.